What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Bad Jacks podcast. Today we are talking about one of the most anticipated movies of my entire life. We finally have another Batman solo movie, The Batman. Dude, I could not be more happy with how this movie turned out. What are your guys' overall thoughts on the movie? Sucker's in the red light right now, looking like Robert Panson. Hey, the merch.
Yeah,
and Caleb's
dude,
just chilling in a Sonic shirt, you know.
Hey, I'm just waiting for Sonic 2 to come up.
Yep. So, what do you think of the film without spoilers? First of all.
Yeah, this movie, I had really, really high expectations, and it managed to surpass those expectations.
Yep.
It's honestly, I expected like a sort of fast-paced.
Dude, I did not expect how much of a slow detective movie it was gonna be. With a lot of superhero movies, when they tackle a genre, it's barely that, and then it's a superhero movie first. This was a straight up crime thriller movie first, which I love.
100%.
Yeah.
It even though it's a big blockbuster, it felt sort of artsy, the way it was shot, the way it was paced, everything about it just didn't scream blockbuster at all. Besides, obviously, the VFX and the action choreography and everything.
And a guy in a bat.
Truly,
the main character.
Yeah, it's truly a spectacle, and I feel like it's better than what everyone thought it would be.
I know, it's crazy. Caleb, what did you think overall?
I mean, it's just good cinema. It's just good cinema.
It's cinema. Martin Scorsese would be proud. I'm sure he is proud if he watched this. It's not a Marvel theme park, you know?
Yeah.
All right, so let's just dive straight into the spoilers. First of all, I want to talk about the opening 15 minutes of the movie. Just Matt Reeves' understanding of Batman, the opening scene when he's the shadows are his ally. Oh my gosh, what do you guys think of that freaking scene, dude? And the music too, it's just
dude.
Goosebumps. My hair stood up when all the goons are looking in
it was
the shadows,
straight out of the Arkham
shitless.
games.
Mm-hmm.
When the guy dropped the spray paint into the shadows, he's like, I can get another spray paint. I'm not going in the shadows, man. I'm getting to the front out of here. He's like, it's a big city. I can't be everywhere, but the fear that can overlook the entire city. That's just what I've always wanted from Batman. Oh, it was so good.
It was something I did not expect, and when he's like, I am the shadows. It screams
voice?
Batman. It screams Batman.
Mm-hmm.
His Batman voice is just nuts. His narrations, oh my gosh, it was just perfect. And Michael Giacchino's score, man, this man might be the greatest composer working today. That score, the way it was just building up the anticipation of the Batman, it was almost a horror movie. It's crazy.
For it.
When it cut to him in the red room and you just hear that theme just slowly coming in. Dude, I was getting goosebumps.
Matt Reeves, just the cinematography, his vision for everything, it was just nuts. It's the comics brought to life.
Yeah.
Gotham.
Greg Fraser went off.
He did Rogue One, right? And forget.
And I believe Dune.
And Mandalorian. So that's you got Michael Giacchino, Matt Reeves, and Greg Fraser all working as one with Robert Pattinson front and center. It's I don't know how there was any doubt for this movie.
No.
This is cinema, as you said. This is art. This is cinema. Oh my gosh. And even Michael Giacchino's score kind of told a story in and of itself, how it starts out really horrifying in that Batman theme, the dun dun dun, and then it slowly evolves into that Bruce Wayne theme, you know? It was so good. And then, what do you guys think of Robert Pattinson's performance overall?
So
before we talk about the performance, I wanted to bring up one thing.
Yep.
didn't think it would make that big of a difference, but the black eye paint was a huge like point for me.
It worked
Like
better for him than other Batman actors, you know.
it's just the paint being there,
It just like
like
emphasizes his
is a-
eyes so much.
Mhm.
And I know as much as we want the white eyes, like Robert Pattinson, the acting came through his eyes. Like, oh my gosh, he was just phenomenal.
eyes were cold enough. It's
Yeah.
like the stares he gave throughout the entire film.
Oh my gosh, and his
it's
entrance,
so cold.
His entrance,
Yeah.
when you just hear his footsteps, that was, oh my gosh, peak Batman. And like the way he would come from the shadows throughout the movie, he would just like appear, you know. Like there was like a black pillar and he just walks out. Oh, it was so good. So, do you think Robert Pattinson is the best Batman overall, or where would you rank him?
Yes, he is the best,
Yes.
in my opinion.
Like,
I
I
agree.
don't know how you can disagree coming out of that movie.
Yeah.
I know how much you love Christian Bale, Soko, but
Trust me when I say that this is the best live action Batman we've had. His Bruce Wayne, it's like not necessarily like the Playboy like Bale played him, but
yep.
it
A lot of people
arguably
were complaining about that, like how he didn't have the Bruce Wayne persona. And I thought, just like through like the cufflinks, I think the movie knew he was gonna get that eventually. They were just, this is his second year as Batman, as it said.
that's how I looked at it. The way I looked at it is like it's a different, like it's like a trilogy arc.
Yep.
Like even like the second or third film, he'll like
You can't
It's
just
Bruce Wayne.
start out with him as perfect Batman. That'd be crazy.
a very good performance and honestly the best live action adaptation of the character so far.
Couldn't agree more. It was just nuts. He was so good. What'd you guys think of the Riddler, Paul Dano?
Oh my gosh. He's insane. But it's so good.
I did not expect him to go like crazy, like Jim Carrey crazy like that.
Mhm.
But I guess that's how
Yeah.
the Riddler is, you know.
The introduction was
Oh my god, that was so scary.
by
Wasn't it like the
emerges
TV,
from
like,
the shadow.
glowing on him, and he would
It
just
moves
like disappear?
Oh.
It was cold, dude. When I told you, like I like froze when like the reflection off his like glasses just illuminated when the
And you could tell he was like
when he moved out of the way.
smiling, looking at him. He's like,
off, dude. Like everyone already knows he's a great actor, and he somehow
still blew our
the
expectations.
same thing again. Yeah,
Did you see Prisoners?
Prisoners. Yeah,
That's where I knew him from, and he just blew like, oh my gosh, just blew my mind as Riddler.
times like brought back his like There Will Be Blood, like
Yeah.
and
And
like,
I like
stuff.
all today I've been like finding myself like quoting him.
literally me
have you
character.
been, have
right
you
there.
been doing his voice?
There's literally so many quotes between that scene between him and Batman that you could just take out.
Bruce Wayne. What was
No,
your fa-
no, this is not how I wanted it to go.
Yeah, he had so many great moments. I think my favorite one is when he's like, I'm just trying to unmask the truth about this cesspool we call a city.
Dude,
Like, I keep saying that to myself. It's so good.
Yeah.
this too.
You're a
Dude,
part-
it's crazy.
Yeah, he was.
I'm not over this movie.
And I feel like the riddles he had, like, they were complicated enough, but they weren't so, like, far advanced that I couldn't follow the plot, you know? Like, they were just so well written. And the way, like, Batman would solve them, like, he'd put it all together. Like, you can be like, oh, okay, here's this. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I would have never thought of that, but it's
Dude,
awesome.
the bomb scene with like the bomb around his neck, and he's
Oh.
like telling him to answer the riddles. Intense. I was like,
I was surprised he just
sweating.
stood there when it was like 5 seconds. I was like, man, get the heck out. And then he got
Mhm.
No,
blown
you
back.
know it's gonna blow up because of the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
trailers
like
really do ruin a lot of the movie. Like I was like, okay, here's this. But
like I'm like a
still.
trailer enthusiast, so I watch them like 100,000 times. So it's like, oh, that's the scene from the trailer.
Yep.
But you know it's gonna blow up and he's gonna like fly back.
Yeah. I didn't expect him to get knocked out though. That was one of my favorite sequences in the movies when he's in the GCPD. You know, that was so good. And how the cops were like grabbing his ears. I was like, dang, dude, there's no way out of this. But Jim Gordon really stepped up and helped him out. By the way, what'd you think of Jeffrey Wright as Jim Gordon?
He was so good.
Amazing casting.
It's crazy he looks more like Jim Gordon than the other Jim Gordons, even though he's different. You know, he's black.
Yeah, it's like
he was a lot more funnier than I thought he would be.
I know when he punched him in the thing, he comes back. He's like, "You could have pulled your punch," and then he's like, "I did."
he kind of had like that Gary Oldman charm, but like he was like he brought his like, own thing to Jim Gordon. But even though like
he's a good cop, like he's a good man. There's no dirt behind him. Yeah, he was amazing. What do you guys think of Catwoman, Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman?
Sorry, yeah. Another great casting.
Dude, the cast is just perfect in every way. Like, oh my gosh. Like, they did not miss a beat.
Best Catwoman we've had in live action. Like, Anne Hathaway was cool. Michelle Pfeiffer was cool. Zoe Kravitz, however, did everything they did, but like up to like 100. And
I love that every character in the movie, like in most Batman movies, they're just there because they're from the comics, but everyone was tied to the story. Everyone was tied to the riddles. Everyone was tied to the corruption in Gotham. Like Catwoman was 100%. There. It was crazy. And her storyline with Batman, my gosh, it was so good. How he like saved her soul from taking the gun from her. Just like the most Batman stuff we've ever seen in live action. So good.
Really like how they connected her to Carmine.
Yeah, his daughter. He didn't even know that.
That was cool, yeah.
I feel like on rewatch it's gonna be really creepy how he was like flirting with her and stuff. Like,
yeah.
Bruh. Simmons from Transformers.
He's back.
Booty is excellent. Dude.
Tell Megatron,
this.
Let's tango.
I'm under the enemy scrotum. Dude. He's so good in this, dude. He's actually scary. Like I always look at him as Agent Simmons, and that I forgot his name from
Big Lebowski.
Yeah, Big Lebowski.
Yeah,
like, it looks like
Jesus.
the bowling ball. It's like I always see him as that. He was so scary in this. Dude, he's actually intimidating. He has that presence.
You could tell how much power he had in Gotham. Like, oh my gosh. And now that like he's dead, you know Penguin's gonna step up, make the power play, and take over Gotham, or you know, take his position.
It's like he has like that sort of like power to him, like that he's like intimidating, but he's also like kind of like I don't know,
funny,
oddly like welcoming.
Yeah,
sort of.
Like I want to hang out with him, but he could turn on you in a second.
Like a mix of both. It's weird.
And that funeral scene where Bruce Wayne went in, that was such a good scene, and you got introduced to him. Didn't on the set photos wasn't Catwoman there, like the actress?
Yeah.
And then it wasn't her. That was cool. That was a cool little twist like that. Yeah. But
I like swap in between like the girl who was with Falcone originally and then it was gonna switch or something like that, but no, she wasn't there.
Yeah, that was cool. Cool twist. And Robert like barely said anything in that scene. Like he's just staring the whole time, but you could there's so much you can just tell by his face. He's like observing what the police are saying and everything. Oh yeah, what did you say?
The only thing he said was "I'm sorry" once he entered. Yeah. That's it. That's all he says. He gets then he has that whole like altercation with the bomb.
That was annoying how she was like, you could be doing more for the city. I'm like, bro, you have no idea. You have no idea what this man's doing.
That's cool.
But what was I gonna say about? Oh yeah, what'd you guys think of the mayor's son? Do you think that he could be Robin, or he's like a foreshadowing of Batman seeing the death of the parents in another kid? Maybe. Like I think they were setting that up a little bit. You know.
That would be cool if he is going to become Robin in a future movie. I think it's a bit too early to bring Robin into like this first trilogy. Maybe in the next, but
maybe like in the next you learn of his name and stuff, and they talk a little bit. But then in the third one, it's like, okay, Robin, I'm gonna start training you.
Scene where Bruce leaves the Batcave and the camera with his like lens is still on, and like Alfred comes and looks at the screen and he sees the kid.
Oh my god! And he started crying. That was, dude. Let's just talk about Andy Serkis the rest of the video, man. He was phenomenal in this, and it was.
He's not in it much, shockingly.
But he left such an impression, you know. Like I was like when he was opening the letter, I was like legit like, dude, could Alfred die right now?
Yeah.
Like, god dang. That would really set Bruce on a different like motive on this, but
they did it more like Arkham Origins.
Yeah, that was There were a lot of similarities to Arkham Origins in this with their relationship.
Yeah, there was like a solid 5 minutes where I thought, no, they're killing Alfred off. Like,
and did you notice when Batman was like driving, he like changed his voice, like when he was calling the assistant girl? Like that was cool. And he's like, ah! Screaming, driving, Alfred! That was such a good part. Intense part, too. But, yeah, the scene where he wakes up in the hospital and he just got back from talking to Falcone, like, man, he just believed Falcone, like, so easily. And I'm like, bruh, Alfred's right here, bruh. He's going to tell you the truth. And that was, like, a real
at the time
pivotal moment for Bruce, where he realized like he hasn't even mastered all his fears, fear of losing someone he loves, you know. That's Batman's greatest fear, is losing people he loves.
In that alley again, basically.
That was the emotional punch of the movie, I think, was that scene when he reaches out his hand to him. I love that scene.
And then I like the symbol, like he sees like the symbol right after
like
that.
His true calling, his yes, it was so good. I love that. And then what do you guys think of Penguin? What's his name? Colin Farrell.
I love it.
It's MVP.
It's like he played it over
the scenery whenever he's there.
Still good.
The thing I thought that was really funny is that after the car chase scene when they had him cuffed to his arms and his legs, when he was like walking, he was like waddling like a penguin, and it's funny.
I didn't pick up on that. That's funny. He's like waddling. I wonder how he got out of that situation. Probably his men.
Guys found him or something.
But dude, that Batmobile scene. Oh my gosh. That was probably the best Batmobile chase. And we've had some good ones in the past. Like
really good ones, dude.
Michael Keaton going through, blowing up that chemical plant. Then you got Christian Bale with Rachel, with the police.
A good chase scene, I think. Affleck, every Batman movie. Even Batman and Robin had a cool one.
Yeah. The scene at BBS when he's chasing all the people.
When Superman crashes that thing. Even Justice League had one with the Parademons.
Yeah.
I love how the first the instant the car makes its first sound, it's just like Penguin and the car have a stare down.
Dude, that hit me I'm like, oh shoot, the Batmobile has not been in the movie yet, and now it's here. It's and the sound design for that thing.
It sounds a lot like Affleck's, but it was dope.
It sounded like the Arkham Knight one,
yeah. That's more like it. Yeah.
What was cool? We saw it in RPX, so. When the Batmobile was started, you could just feel the rumbling of the engine. It was so satisfying.
Yep. And like Colin Farrell, you could just see the fear in his eyes when the
Mhm.
thing was starting up. I was like, oh shoot, it's going down.
The way they introduced the Batmobile is kind of reminiscent of the Batwing and Dark Knight Rises.
When they
Oh
got him
yeah.
cornered, like a
Mhm.
rat in the trap. I think you got the
Mhm.
wrong
But
animal.
yeah.
And then
Dude.
the lights just turn on. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a good catch.
Like that entire sequence from the Batmobile and the Penguin stare down and to like the end where he like peers through like the window.
Oh my gosh.
Every shot, like it's crazy. I don't know how they shot half of that because it's practical.
That's probably
like, the
why it's the
explosion and
best
everything.
Batmobile chase is because it's all in camera. Like there was no CGI. Maybe like to hide out some of the rigs and stuff, like the camera
Mhm.
rigs on the vehicle.
Dude, the truck flipping over each other and like the ramp, everything's fucking crazy. I don't know how.
When it
Whoever
came
thought
through
of
the
that
fire,
and choreographed that, crazy.
that was real. When they came through the fire, they said they really shot a Batmobile through the flames. Like they're
Crazy.
nuts. And dude, when
Like, illumination of the lights, man.
like
Looks nice.
it's like all the cameras were like locked down onto the cars. Like that one shot when the Batmobile skids and then Penguin's car flips over and crashes. Like that was the most satisfying like camera shot in the whole movie. I was like, oh. And then
the
oh my
music when
gosh,
he's like walking towards him.
it was like a guitar riff.
Yeah.
It was so cool. That was the best shot of the movie, was him walking
Mhm.
up slow, and you could see like again the fear in Colin Farrell. Like he was like crying. Didn't it look like he was crying basically?
Yeah. He's like,
Oh, that was
He-
so good.
Wet his pants there a little.
And they didn't show that in the trailers when he peeks in. He's like, "Hello."
Mhm.
I was like, "You're screwed, bro. You're done." Oh, that was such a good
did
scene.
he arrest him in the Batmobile? Like, did he have him in the Batmobile
Oh yeah, he
afterwards?
put him in the passenger seat because they met up with Jim Gordon later.
Yeah,
Maybe Jim Gordon.
Very
came up-
awkward drive.
Oh,
yeah, that would be awkward.
They did that in Arkham Knight too, when you would put people in the back of the seat and you could just hear them talking.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much all the characters we covered. Oh yeah, what do you guys think of Barry Keegan's Joker at the end, the very end? The Joker.
There was a part of me for a second that thought it was Two-Face because like his face is like messed up a little bit.
Really mangled
But-
up.
But like once he started laughing, I'm like, that's Joker.
Yeah, there's no denying it after
Mhm.
that.
He makes like a clown reference, and I'm like,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, it's like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Mhm.
It's like holy shit.
And I think
You
Matt
can look-
Reeves kind of said in an interview that he was born with that deficiency, how he's always smiling. Like you could see he had just a permanent smile into his face.
I think you can like see his teeth a little bit or something. I think that's what I saw.
And
It's like a
someone said they
scar
saw
in his
it
teeth.
on like a really clear screen, and he had the green hair, like the really crazy green hair. Dude, he could really bring it as Joker, I think. I don't even think he's made his Joker persona yet, but he obviously got put in Arkham Asylum, so he's fought
Yeah.
Batman before. And if you connect that to the opening with the guys with the smiles, the black smiles,
Mhm.
they probably fought before. I need a prequel comic. I need something. Give it to me. And I don't think Joker will be the villain of the second one. I think
I hope not.
Yeah.
he'll be like there again, but maybe in like a third movie or future. Who knows?
Yeah, I hope it's like Mr. Freeze or Scarecrow,
Oh my
Court of
gosh.
Owls type thing.
Yeah.
think
What is
we
your
hold off on
ideal
Joker.
sequel for this? How would you
What
go on?
what
from
I've
this?
discussed what I've discussed with other people is like the sequel would be Mr. Freeze and maybe like a side villain, maybe have like Penguin do something again, or have Scarecrow. Everyone's calling it Batman, the Batman City of Fear, which would be a dope title in my opinion.
That would work
Um,
because it's all flooded and everyone's scared. Like that'd be cool. That would be a cool title.
And Rob and the cast have expressed. Paul Dano is a massive fan of the Court of Owls, and he says that would be very cool to explore. the cast is they've at the Court of Owls a bunch, and I think that might be a big possibility. But
That would
I'm
be
hoping
cool.
we see like a John Noble Arkham Knight type Scarecrow sometime soon,
Oh
because
my
I feel like that's a
gosh.
villain that definitely needs the limelight, and so does Mr. Freeze.
And that could really help Bruce's arc getting over his parents is mastering his fear of over Scarecrow. That would be insane. And for him to look like it, like with the straws and stuff hanging out, that'd be so cool.
Dude, think that they basically had like massive horror elements with the Riddler, like
What they
they can
could
do
do.
with
Oh.
with Scarecrow.
Also, did you guys pick up when he had the adrenaline? I thought it was adrenaline, but it was green like Venom. Not Tom Hardy's Venom.
I don't know what that was. I need to
But
do some more
Bane.
research in that.
I'm talking about Bane. Maybe Bane
No,
could be and not Tom Hardy's Bane.
No,
Please drop a Tom Hardy quote from Eddie Brock, please.
wait, hold on. You just brought up like Bane's Venom. I think it could be that because he literally lost sense of like
Who he was. Like he's just
he lost it. I feel like that's a good shout. I just realized that.
and all the music, everything, and it was just his rage just pounding down on the guy. Yeah, what'd you guys think of the third act overall? Like, some people were having problems with it. What'd you guys think of it? I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was awesome too.
It was good.
Go ahead, Caleb.
I think it was good. I felt like it wasn't as like grand as I
Yeah.
thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, like it was just Riddler
Yeah.
trying to shoot some people
Mm-hmm.
in an evacuation. Like,
And he
Mhm.
just
like-
beats up a few of the goons, and then it's done.
it wasn't like Doomsday coming down.
Yeah.
And Batman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like people expected like a very grounded like third act, but like the thing is, this is like the most grounded third act you can do with
Mm-hmm.
Gale.
Yeah.
And it was
streets
pretty
and, like,
climactic for how grounded it was. Like, pretty crazy stuff went down. Like him blowing up.
that
the
movie
whole
has
ceiling.
this
Yeah,
new.
yeah.
Every bad movie has a crazy third act.
Like, think about Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
The city's about to implode, and then Bane and Talia like crazy. But this was just like he's just trying to kill just kill a group of people in the stadium. You know.
Like, yeah, it's not like a oversaturated, fully CGI third act. I feel like it's real. It's the realism is still there.
Yeah.
Sure,
I could
it like
see all
dials
those
it
things
up a
happening.
bunch.
Yeah.
It dials up a bunch, but it's not like. I feel like it was feasible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could see all these things happening, like an attack on a political figure or something. Like
Yeah.
But yeah, that was. I just liked how the Riddler people were like inspired by Batman, like how Riddler was inspired by Batman, and the followers of Riddler said they're like he said I'm vengeance, like how Batman was, and that was kind of like his turning point to become a symbol of hope. Like I feel like he'll
Doing it wrong the whole
become,
time.
like the stoic like hero, like in the animated series, you know.
Mm-hmm.
People there were like hesitant to like get help from him. Sort
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
The time it's like the mayor's son was the first one to go.
And then that inspired the other people to come out.
Dude,
and like
that.
him, the visuals with him with the flare, like he's the light that the people will follow out of the darkness. Like the symbolism was just out of this world.
And like there wasn't any sound effects. It was just the score.
music.
It was so beautiful.
Again, Michael
So good.
Giacchino just blowing it out of the park with that Bruce Wayne
Mhm.
Batman theme. Like, oh my gosh, I was like getting teary eyed from that overhead shot of him leading them out. Like that's gotta
Yeah.
be one of the greatest shots in the movie.
That scene where he's like holding the kid and he's walking out in the sun. It's like
Oh.
that's when I realized I'm like, yeah, Matt Reeves really grabbed the best of each live action and animated and just Batman in general. He grabbed like the best parts and like blended it into one and made like a whole new
Like, he had the brute force of Ben Affleck. He had, like, the heroicness of Christian
Yeah.
Bale, the gothicness of Michael Keaton. Like, he just brought it all together and made the most ideal Batman for the screen. So good.
Shouldn't have Kilmer.
Or George Clooney.
Oh, I wonder.
The head
Well,
bob.
I freeze. I'm Batman.
He needs to say that in the sequel if Mr. Freeze is the villain. I freeze.
The heat is on.
Also, did you pick up when he was interviewing or interrogating Riddler? He kind of said psychopaths, like Christian Bale. Psychopaths.
Yo, I turned to my sister and I'm like, he's Bill voice.
Bale.
I
I was expecting him to go like full Christian Bale. Where are they? I think he had the best Batman voice out of anyone.
I agree.
And like there was some good comedy with how like cold he is. Like he's just like
Him and Kilmer have the best voice in my opinion. I feel like
it's because I choose to be.
it's dope.
Release the Schumacher cut. Apparently, there was also a cut scene in this of Batman going to interview the Joker. Did you see this? Matt Reeves talked about it.
I heard that.
It was going to be like in the Killing Joke, how Joker's in the shadows, and he was trying to get information on the Riddler, and he's like telling him how a killer's mind works.
Ooh.
That would have been cool. Apparently, it's going to be on the Blu-ray, so.
Cool. I like
Very
that.
cool.
I like that we're not gonna like never see it.
I know.
That's cool. I like that.
I know, and the movie's 3 hours already, and it didn't feel like 3 hours, did it, to you?
Mhm.
No, I
Flew by.
embraced every second. I love how long it was.
Dude, and I needed to pee, and we had like an hour left. I'm like, maybe right now? Nope. And it just kept going, and I just forgot I needed to go to the bathroom.
Halfway
Yeah.
hour and a half through, my mom like turned and said, "This is my favorite Batman movie," because she's seen most of them. And then I'm like, I looked at the time real quick, and I'm like, "There's still an hour and a half left."
Oh my god.
That's crazy. Let's go, dude. It was like celebrating. I love when I'm watching a movie and I'm like, I don't want this to end.
And you still have like.
That's the thing. I didn't want it to end.
Oh yeah. Did you notice? He like they did a ADR on him like when he was like, "What have you done?" Like it was a lot more clear this time.
Mhm.
I mean, the first trailer was like muffled.
You couldn't.
I think that's what you're getting at, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they fixed
that
it.
was clear. It was. You can actually hear what he's properly saying. Like I got it the first time, but like it's more clear now.
Yeah. So, what was
That-
your overall favorite scene in the movie or sequence?
That's hard.
I know.
It's
we gotta talk
between the opening whole sequence.
Yeah.
That the sequence, the chase sequence. I really liked was the Thomas Wayne reveal that Riddler did on video,
Yeah.
and Bruce is like just watching from the cave, and he's like
That was
shocked.
also one of my favorite shots in the movie when in the orphanage when it was being projected and it was just the bat like his ears like his silhouette in front of his father. That was one of my favorite shots too.
Can't pick a favorite, to be honest. The entire runtime is.
I know, even in the trailers I thought Batman was like escaping that explosion. Remember when he comes down with the cape? But he blew that thing up. That was so awesome. He did that. He's like, I'm gonna blow the roof off this thing. Boom. That was one of my favorite
The electrical cord scene was dope too.
Oh yeah, when he cut it.
Which
with the
already
bat
cuts
signal.
it.
I
Yeah.
love how his symbol can be used as like a weapon.
I think that's where he'll
Knife
get the
type thing.
Yeah. I think that's where he'll get the idea for batarangs, kind of, maybe.
It's like, what if I make this but smaller?
I know there's so much
Batarang
technology.
type thing.
There's so much technology that hasn't been in the movies yet, but this is the second year again. Like the Batwing,
It's
I
like
don't know.
Bloodsport costume.
Yeah. Bloodsport.
Instead of like nanotech, it's like actually like
That would
real.
be- That would be
realistic.
like MCU Batman movie.
This stomps on every single MCU movie.
Okay,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
care
You
what.
have
No Way
uh,
Home. Everyone's talking about No Way Home 3 months ago, 2-3 months ago.
Where are they now?
Pumps that movie. Let's be honest.
Every possible way.
Like, No Way Home was like the best theater experience just for like the shock of everything and like the nostalgia.
Yeah.
But sitting in this theater, like, just seeing this 3 hours unfold, like, oh my gosh, it was just insane. This movie. Okay, you had how many years of work for the MCU? Over 10 years of work. Batman just comes in with Matt Reeves. You're done. I just destroyed you. Your career is over. Just end the MCU at this point.
I used the what I said was, this is the Batman Begins of this generation. It's gonna have that same effect, like what Batman Begins did for comic book movies in the 2000s is what this movie is gonna do for comic book movies from now on. Hopefully,
Yeah.
Like we're gonna the ones that are already shot are gonna stay the same, but I feel like this is gonna have an effect on a lot of comic book movies that haven't been fully like in production yet.
And hopefully Marvel, for once, takes some notes from DC and makes some, grounded superhero movies like this. Because I cannot just keep getting Eternals, like, all this just lifeless garbage. Like,
Yeah.
Batman, this movie had something to say. This movie had a purpose. It's not just to set up a universe, Like, there could not be a sequel, and this movie stands on its own. The Batman, like, it was so good.
Crazy how much not having a
And
connected world, like, it can have an effect on a film. Like Shang-Chi, for example, it had like that constant reminder that, hey, we're in a cinematic universe. Look, there's other people here. And like this movie, it doesn't have to do that. It can literally have sequels, and it doesn't have to mention like, oh yeah, we have this here too. We have that. Like the most they did in this movie was mention Bloodhaven.
Yeah.
I don't think they mentioned Metropolis, but they did mention Bloodhaven.
Yeah.
And like most they did with like the world outside of Gotham.
And the world building was so good in this. Like, you could tell that this has been lived in. You could tell that he's been Batman for 2 years. Like, you could tell this Gotham has been going on for so long. Like, there's so much history. Like, the Martha Arkham thing, that was insane. Like, there was so much, like, detail and just the design of Gotham itself. Like, the Times Square type, that looks so cool. And that's all CGI.
That is Gotham Garden Square or something. I think they called it.
Gotham Square
the
Garden.
part at the end.
Yeah, that was awesome.
The world building is truly phenomenal.
Like that.
The writers did a great job
of Gotham at the end with the sun coming up and it was like flooded. That looks so cool. Like, I just loved how Gotham looked.
With the Narrows on one side, like this had like the flooded area,
and then the normal area.
Their city. And like that had like the Narrows and stuff. Very reminiscent of that. Yeah, everything they did an amazing job.
Yeah, I wonder how they'll handle the flooding in the next movie. How it'll be, if they'll clear it out, or it'll be like no man's land. I
mean, hey, if in Man of Steel they could just destroy half of the city and then rebuild it in like 2 years, then they could probably do the same.
Yeah.
Yep. That's good. Get Zack Snyder on the sequel. Come on. Oh man.
I'm sure Zack Snyder would love this movie.
Oh, he approves of this 100%. I wonder, do you think that Matt Reeves wrote this if the studio forced them to use Ben Affleck again? I wonder if it could work with Ben in the movie. If it was
was Matt talked about this.
He was hired for Ben Affleck's movie originally, right?
Yeah.
What they did was they talked to Matt and they're like, do you want to direct Ben Affleck movie? And he said that he wants to do his own story that he has in mind for Batman. And I think they went ahead with that. And dropped out, of course. He dropped out of his out of the production and said he didn't want to do it anymore.
Hey, respect for Ben Affleck, because he said he doesn't want to direct it. He doesn't want to star in it unless he had the burning passion that someone else would give anything for. Robert Pattinson, I bet this is like a dream come true for him. And if Ben's not given 100%, Ben doesn't want to do it. So respect to Ben Affleck. Definitely my second favorite Batman. He was my favorite, but he just didn't get the respect he deserved. I don't think he didn't get a good, solid movie like this. So I don't know. He'll always have a special place in my heart, Ben Affleck. They're all good. All the Batmans are good. Even George Clooney has his moments.
George Clooney has his Bruce Wayne is cool. His Batman's ass, but like, everyone else has been great at doing both. Like, say what you want about Keaton, he has like this hate thing going on right now because of the Flash.
Yeah.
Say what you want about him, but like
amazing
he did a really good first portrayal of the character.
And it's so
like
unique too.
Adam West before, he literally changed the character.
Even Adam West, phenomenal for that time period. Like, that show was so revolutionary. Like, kids, oh my gosh, they probably went nuts for that show. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Every generation has had like their like revitalization of Batman. With like Burton did it because before Batman was a joke, and then Bale did it because Batman was a joke before. Then now, I mean, then like obviously Affleck happened, and
dude, Affleck kind of turned into a joke with Justice League. So kind of if you take it like that,
there's Justice League. And
never-ending cycle. Hopefully, it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, hopefully.
Let's just give him creative freedom and don't act jerks.
Hey, and Robert said he's open to do this for forever, Batman Forever. So
I'm open to Robert Panson doing anything for forever. Honestly,
imagine it's like Harry Potter, like the years at Hogwarts, like Batman year 2, Batman year 3, year 4, year 5. Like just seeing him evolve over the years would be so cool.
Harry Potter movies, I wouldn't know.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Like every movie's a different year at school, like just kind of like that, like a year in Gotham, different. That'd be cool. Where would you guys rank this in the live-action Batman movies? Number 1.
Uno. I'm making a post right now.
And, it is hard to go against The Dark Knight. Like, it's so perfect.
I'm making a ranking post, and it's number 1 on it. That's all I'm gonna say.
What's your
Nolan shill?
Yeah,
I work for Nolan till the day I die, and this is better than The Dark Knight in my opinion.
And you gotta respect The Dark Knight forever. Like that movie changed everything. Like how I saw that Orm. Have you been holding that the whole video?
I've been holding it the whole video.
I've been like turning it around, there doing some Harry Potter.
I didn't even notice that
shit.
This man is a simp for Patrick Wilson, bro.
I'm a simp for Robert Pattinson as well. So
hey, the Batman will be the best superhero movie until Aquaman 2 comes out with Orm as.
I was Black Adam.
Black Adam.
The hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change.
It's about to change.
Imagine Orm versus Black Adam.
I think
Orm would solo.
Really? I think Orm could solo.
I mean, but it's The Rock. Come on, The Rock never loses, right?
I mean, he can swim in the sea like Aquaman, right? Or is that something Aquaman can only do?
I think Orm can come out of the ocean and breathe. Why are we talking about Patrick Wilson Orm?
We're talking about Batman, now we're talking about Orm versus...
I just title this Orm speculation for Aquaman 2.
The Batman / Orm.
No, like, me and Suka had a whole discussion about how they should market the movie with, like, how the trailer, the title comes up, and then at the end it's like a tease for what's to come. It's like Orm's like, I will help you, brother. And then it's like... Coming 2022.
Let's go, dude. DC kicking ass this year, dude.
I might not like some of the things coming out The Flash, but hey, they're bringing it their A game. But did you get that trailer of all the DC movies edited in before the?
Yeah, that's where I got my picture.
That was kind of cool.
Theater screen cap.
Yeah, that was cool. Oh yeah, I was like, did you take a?
Don't dreamt of a better world.
Did you?
Let's go, Black Adam.
Did you take the picture in the theater, but it was before that in the trailer, so I was like, okay. Yeah. Another thing I really liked was how they used Something in the Way by Nirvana.
Oh, yeah.
Once, several times. I love that. Every time it's cued, it's like, let's fucking go, dude. I love that song so much.
How the lyrics played, like it paralleled to the beginning and the end of the movie. Like when the commissioner's getting interviewed, it hit the beat, and then at the end when it hit the beat, it was the mayor getting interviewed. It was really, really cool. And Batman had such a cool arc through the movie. Like you could, at the end, you could really tell he really changed. Like it was cool.
Fear to like, from instilling fear to
hope.
instilling.
Yep.
It's cool. I love that.
God, it'd be so cool to see, like, how Superman's ideals would clash with him, but I don't want to see Superman. I don't want to see anything. Just keep it Batman. Batman alone can have a cinematic universe.
Like, introduce, like, Oliver Queen or something. I'd be cool with that. Like,
that would be sick.
He's basically Batman with bone
even
arrows,
you could reference Metropolis and Lex Luthor and... Hell, have Lex Luthor.
Too much. Much. I mean, but Arkham Knight kind of did it in like a cool
that's
way.
what I was
like, it's
kind
like
of
a voice message.
Literally,
Luthor voice message.
The Arkham games are just perfection. Like, just take your inspiration from there.
Live action Arkham. That's what I was thinking the whole time. This movie is live action Arkham.
It is, bro. I hope the next movie it's snowing in the whole movie. Dude, imagine if it's snowing and all the flooding in Gotham got frozen over and it's like a city of streets of ice.
Mr. Freeze and he freezes everything.
Whoa.
Chill.
Cold heart, dude. The Batman cold heart or something. That'd be cool.
Heart of Ice or like something like that. That'd be sick.
Arnold. Alright, everyone. Chill.
How'd the dinosaurs die? The Ice Age. There's so many ways they could go with this. Like, it's like set up so perfectly. And the ending when Batman and Catwoman were like driving away together, dude, that was like the music was going off so hard. And I didn't even realize that was like a big reveal that he had a new bat cycle at the end, like a new Batmobile or a motorcycle. I was like, okay, that's cool.
Funny, that was one of the first few things we saw from like the behind the scene pictures and stuff.
And it's the finale of the movie.
Mm-hmm. The finale at the end, at the beginning.
Yep. That's weird.
Although I know for a fact that when the movie comes out on digital, someone's gonna put the freaking F7 ending song on the.
I don't know if that would that work. Yeah, maybe.
I feel like it would because it
part ways. Yeah, I think it can work. I'll make that. I promise. I will make that.
The Fast and Furious.
But I loved how like he like saw her leave in the distance, and then his eyes went forward to Gotham, and like he started speeding, and it was like. And the music was like, dun, and then just cut to black.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, cinema.
For real.
Also, did you stay to the end credits or no?
I had already seen it on.
Yeah, I heard it was like a link or something, but it's like a Riddler saying goodbye.
Something like that.
The chat, and then it's a link to his website or whatever.
For like a half a second or something, I think.
The music was beautiful though, playing like the piano. I forget what the song's called. It's like Santa in Darkness or something like that, but
something like that, Sonata or something.
I woke up this morning because I had to get up early for work, but I had to go to bed last night, so I saw the Batman, went to bed, woke up, and that was the first thing I played, and I was just like, oh my god, I just witnessed cinema last night, and it doesn't feel real, but it is real, and it's amazing.
Life will never be the same
entire
again.
night. Yeah,
it was awesome.
I stayed up almost the entire night thinking about it.
It's just such a thought-provoking film, like, I feel like a lot of people are gonna go in thinking like, oh, this is like Batman movie, like action, but dude, they're gonna be in for a shock when they are just 2 hours in and it's like a full-on detective David Fincher type movie, like insane. I cannot believe this is real, dude.
I'm gonna feel bad for all the kids that go to see it. They're gonna be
Dude.
horrified.
I've wanted to see this Batman movie my whole life basically, and I'm so happy we finally got.
Like there were
this.
moments when Batman was like just standing there, and I was like getting flashes of like the animated series Batman. Like I was like, oh my gosh, dude, they did it! They actually made my Batman, like the stoic detective, smart
100%.
Batman. But I also loved how he made mistakes. He made like 2 major mistakes in the riddles. Like that was cool. That was just good writing overall.
Yeah.
I think the
Perfect.
First one,
He's not like necessarily like the possible detective. He's better than everyone.
The first mistake was actually Riddler's mistake, right? He didn't know his Spanish or something.
La. And Penguin like correcting them and like
he's like, "Are you
yelling at
idiot?"
them.
Oh, Penguin was so hilarious in that part. And then the second one was he didn't know what a carpet tucker was. He's like, I didn't know what that. And he's like, oh, carpet tucker. Gotta look to the carpet. Like even when he made a mistake, he immediately corrected it once he found it out. All right, guys, that's going to wrap things up on our review of the Batman. We all loved it. I think we'd all give it a 10 out of 10, right? Like, I really don't have a problem with the movie. Like, can you think of even a flaw that you would... I was like...
Can't.
I know one of our friends was saying he didn't like the wingsuit. He thought his tech was too low tech. Like, that didn't bother me. Like, I've seen a lot of complaints.
It is realistic.
Yeah, it is real life, but...
Plus, you already know for a fact that he's gonna get the glide.
It's his second year. Like you gotta remember that this is not a fully developed Batman, but he's on his way to becoming the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a lot of the complaints online, I just didn't understand. Like the Bruce Wayne thing, I'm like, okay, he's gonna develop that in the future, and his performance as the Recluse was phenomenal. Like, amazing. I can't think of a problem with the movie, so yeah, I loved it. It's among the best superhero films, probably the best, probably.
Yes, it's among them, if not the best. But
for me, like
top the Dark Knight, I think it's the best.
Yeah, for me, the Snyder Cut just gives me everything I need because I love Superman too.
That one too. Yeah,
but they're so different that you can't really compare them. Oh, Caleb pointing out Spider-Man 2. Can't really dethrone that for Marvel either. Yeah.
I was gonna put Spider-Man 3.
I mean,
it's close. we got emo Batman and emo Spider-Man. So
yeah.
Who's gonna win? Really?
Bully Pattinson.
Bro, I guarantee they're gonna make an edit of Bully Maguire by the end of this. But yeah, definitely some of the best work in the genre. One of the best films I've ever seen, really. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for watching. Definitely comment what you guys thought of the movie. Want to hear your thoughts. Thank you, Sucka. Thank you, Caleb. This has been Batjacks with the Batjacks Podcast. Signing out. Peace.